know how Teen Titans Go made an episode called Let's Get Serious, which was used to address the critics of the show, and everyone hated it because it insulted the critics of the show? Well, after that, they made an episode called The Return of Slade, which was used to address the critics of the show, and everyone hated it because it insulted the critics of the show. Then they made an episode called The Fourth Wall, which was used to address the critics of the show, and everyone hated it because it insulted the critics of the show.
Want to see my weasel?
With 4 episodes, this has officially become a genre of Teen Titans Go episodes. They're gonna do this at least once a season. Teen Titans Go have episodes where they insult the detractors of the show. And I do want to point something out, because this is a misconception that's been really prevalent on the internet. Some people believe that defending yourself from criticism is the same thing as ignoring criticism or outright rejecting it. Those two things are not the same thing. I already reviewed one of these episodes, The Return of Slade, which was incredibly insulting. To paraphrase, the show had a painfully obvious metaphor that cartoons were only for kids, and that the audience should grow up and move on, even though the original Teen Titans was more adult-oriented than Teen Titans Go, and the fact that there are animations for adults out there that have gotten a lot of popularity, and then there's the fact that kids can enjoy darker shows, and there's also the fact that it's possible to entertain both kids and adults with the same product. However, I think that this episode in particular is worse than The Return of Slade, at least in execution. You know, at least there were people who were complaining that Teen Titans Go wasn't serious enough, or that Teen Titans Go wasn't like the original Teen Titans. In this episode, they go after the complaint that Teen Titans Go doesn't teach morals. Ignoring the fact that they have tried to teach morals, both sarcastic morals and morals in earnest, I don't know any critic, hater, moral guardian, or even troll who has demanded that the show teaches morals. Let's see what they got for us. The show has surprised me before. Who knows? It might surprise me again. The episode starts with Robin complaining about a suggestion box.
It has come to my attention that you have not been using the new suggestion box.
Sorry, my bad. I filled it up with papers reading Get Cancelled.
Those are the suggestions from us.
The whole reason for the suggestion box is to have a thoughtful way to address the flaws in the Teen Titans.
Which is why the show never had a suggestion box, does not have a suggestion box, and will never ever ever have a suggestion box ever.
Anonymous has suggested that the leader of the Titans, Robin, that would be me, should teach more life lessons.
I honestly don't get this episode. So, we have Beast Boy trying to be friends with the cool kids. They want him to graffiti on the walls, but that would be destroying property. And the Teen Titans never destroy property ever. The rest of the gang accept Beast Boy as their friend, and you've known that this was bullshit ever since the segment started. Jokes don't work when the audience predicts the punchline before you get to it, and even kids could see this coming. Now here's where this episode fails on a fundamental level, and I think I know where they're coming from. It confuses learning a lesson with character development. While the two often coincide, they are not the same thing. In kids shows, for instance, you do often get morals where the characters learn not to steal or tell lies. But the point is, at the end of the story, the kids are better people and characters because of it. Or they're taken down because of their refusal to become better characters. However, this also applies to learning about your own failures and limitations, overcoming obstacles, and accomplishing things that you've never been able to before. Every episode of Teen Titans Go I've seen neglects this. They're perfect, and it's the world around them that needs to change. You want to know what the rest of this episode is about?
How to buy rental property as a long-term investment.
He's not kidding! The rest of this episode goes into excruciating detail about how to get equity. I have so many problems with this. What is the most obvious excuse given to this show's flaws? That's right, Teen Titans Go is for kids. Then why is so much of the show aimed at adults who don't like the show and at this point have probably given up watching the show by now? I watch this show because it's super easy to riff and perfect fodder to practice my commentary on. Also, Cartoon Network airs it 4 hours a day, so the don't like, don't watch argument kinda doesn't work here. But what are episodes like this really supposed to do for any kids? You know, the ones that they claim to be writing for. I mean, on an absolutely serious level, kids can't do anything with advice about equity. That's obvious. You know it, I know it, the show knows it. But this more or less becomes anti-humor. One thing the kids tend to lack is patience. So, do you really think that they'd enjoy waiting 8 minutes for something to, happen, while the episode constantly keeps saying that it's boring? There are many, many reasons why these critic call-out episodes are bad. This is just a minor nitpick though, but the Teen Titans are teenagers. At least, I think. This means they're all likely under 18. That means that they can't legally sign contracts, which means that they can't buy rental property. What I'm doing is boring, I know it's boring, kids don't like things that are boring, but I'm going to do it anyway, even though I'm aiming for kids. The it's for kids defense can't really work when you're ditching kids to specifically talk to someone else. Just between you and me, I actually think that the show has quite a bit of contempt for its target audience. By the way, there is a way to make teaching business and equity to kids and make it fun. They already exist. They're called business simulation games, like Reciteer and Roller Coaster Tycoon. So here's how the Teen Titans want to teach you about equity. First of all, find the shittiest place you can, which is the wrong thing to do because it usually costs more money to fix the building than the building is actually worth.
It's all boring, but fun at the same time.
But mostly boring.
You know that kids don't like boring things, right? They don't want to teach lessons because they think that it would make the episode boring, okay? Never ever teach a lesson again. Stop making episodes like Boys vs. Girls and Return of Slade, and Books, and Knowledge, and Headfruit, and Sandwich Thief, and Lazy Sunday, and The Best Robin, and Leg Day, and Artful Dodger, and stop doing this! You don't want to teach lessons? Then don't! Just fucking don't! And I know that most of these quote-unquote lessons are sarcastic, spoof Aesops, or supposed to be jokes.
I promise you this will all lead to a very satisfying end. Very satisfying.
It better be, or it'll be your end. And trust me, that will be satisfying. Don't like the show, don't watch it. Teen Titans Go! All Thanksgiving weekend on loop. Don't really have a choice. Oh my god. It's not the detractors of the show that are being nostalgia blind. It's the show itself. This is what they think cartoons are.
And knowing is half the battle.
This is cartoons to them. They were stories that entertain kids, but they're hard for adults to come back to. And yes, standards and practices demanded each episode to end with a moral. I don't know why I didn't see this before. It's so obvious. I said it before. It's their logic that originally plunged animation into a dark age.
I was working one day at a retail job, and a man came in. We had pop vinyls of the Titans for sale, and he brought up that his daughter has a job animating the show. I'm from Eastern Canada and there's a division of animators that work here. I proceeded to attempt to hold my tongue for 45 minutes while he tried to convince me and everyone around me, and my boss, that the show isn't really that bad. So, old man, I have this to say in the safety of the internet: fuck you. Fuck your daughter, and fuck this show. Wow. This guy sure is a piece of shit. Why did I even bother to come back?
I look forward to ripping you apart limb from limb later this year. Your mere existence is an insult to everyone who ever cared about animation in the slightest.
I am Nostradamus!